Good morning once again, my dear people, and welcome to this moment of faith. I am also glad that today we are reflecting on the act of the apostle, but most particularly on Paul, the readings of today's Wednesday, say on the seventh week of Easter. We are reflecting on Paul on a topic that is very good, very wonderful, and I am very happy to take that with you, so, to enrich our meditation of the day. It is in address to the elders that Paul asks them to be zealous, humble, to renounce their own selfishness. After speaking of his commitment and responsibility in the foundation and direction of Christian communities, Paul seems to want to inculcate that same commitment and responsibility in the elders of the church that were placed as shepherd of the flock that God acquired for himself. And that is applied to us, missionaries and future missionaries. He insists on the duty of vigilance. In fact, difficult times are foreseen with internal and external dangers to the community, especially the emergence of false doctrines. Those false doctrines, he states as follows in verses 29 to 30, that even among you men of perverse words will be raised to drag disciples after you. He wants to draw our attention that even with suffering, a pastor or a missionary or a priest, a deacon, a brother, a sister, a lay must watch day and day about himself, but also about those entrusted to him in order to defend their faith, to defend them from enemies. Then, in the gospel that we have just heard, we have the second part of the priestly prayer that begins with a request from Jesus to the Father to protect those who have believed or will come to the belief in Him. So, and that section goes as follows: keep them in you, to be one as we are one, that we found in the Gospel on the verses 11. The text is divided into two parts. It begins by developing the theme of opposition between the disciples and the world. That is from 11 to 16. Then from 17 to 19, we have the text speaking about their sanctification in the truth, the sanctification of the disciple in the truth. And the master asks the father to protect his friends from the world's opposition. Here, the master is Jesus. But the other theme appears as the union between his own, his God, with the exception of Judas in verses 12. The preservation of the evil and hatred of the world. Those are the themes that we can encounter. So, with all of this, it leads us to reflect once again on the power of the world, but also on its weakness. The world has power over those who let themselves be seduced by it, but it is weak for those who allow themselves to be guided by the world, by the word of Jesus, and by His Spirit. So today, my dear brothers and sisters, let us allow the word and the Spirit of Jesus help us to discern the different faces of the world, to distinguish the appeals of the Spirit from the subtle mistakes of the evil one, and the message of God from the lie of the enemy, so that we may be sanctified in the truth. Amen. Thank you. My dear all, I wish you a blessed Wednesday, a blessed day to you all, and we let ourselves continue being in the love of God so that we may be able to be in His truthfulness and be sanctified in the truth. Thank you and be blessed, my dear people.